podcast. I'm going to be doing a solo pod today, so I'm just going to be live streaming it. And I really want to talk to you guys about a podcast I was on earlier, which inspired this, which is not the Learner's Guide. So let me change this. I don't know why it still says that. Growing your Ecom store / profit. So in this one, won't be super long, probably 10, 15 minutes. But I do want to talk about growing your e-commerce store's revenue and profit margins. And the big thing with that is one of the key aspects for me. One of the key metrics I'm looking at as a whole is average order value, pricing. So when you think about it, there is a lot of levers you can pull. There's a million different things you can do with your e-commerce store, but people typically don't know what to do. And as you're growing a store from 0 to 500K and then 500K to $1 million, a lot of times they get stuck trying to figure out, how do I just get more sales? So getting more sales to them looks like just having a bunch of marketing channels, doing a lot of things, trying to come out with a bunch of new SKUs, when realistically, you don't need to do that. You just need to figure out what is selling well. So if you have a hero product, which again, a hero product is one product that sells more than everything else. Like that's your main product. So if you have a hero product, figuring out how do you sell more of that thing. And realistically, there's a few different ways you can do that. You can do that through more paid marketing. You can do that through better organic marketing, do that through SEO, influencers. You can do that through blogs, videos, and you can do that a lot of different ways. But at the end of the day, one big thing that I've noticed is just focusing on your average order value as a whole is one of those key metrics to that I have seen drive an entire system of a business. So why average order value is because if you have a product that is $70 and it costs you $7 to make it, like your all-in cost of goods, your COGS is at $7, then you have huge margins that then you can go and just sell and sell and sell and use that to reinvest and get more customers. The thing that with the average order value is, especially in the beginning, I think over the span of time, the longer you're in business, it matters what that lifetime value of a customer is. If you're newer in business, it does not matter as much. What matters in the short term is how much money they're giving you in the beginning, because that's going to be the fuel to your business for you to be able to make investments, for you to be able to update the product, whatever it might be. You need cash flow. So with cash flow and having cash reserves and all these different things, one of the big things is just the average order value. If you're selling something for 70, you've got 10x profit margins basically, because your cost of goods is $7. That's great. So you got to think about it in a strategic sense of, okay, can I spend 70 to make 70? So now I'm just breaking even. But imagine your average order value is 140. So now you can spend 70 to acquire a customer, and now you're making 140 every single time. You're making a 2x. So, and what happens if you're making that kind of 2x is you're making money and you're making good profit. And the way to increase average order value, from what I've seen, is you really have to understand who your target audience is, who is your ideal customer, and diving into speaking directly to them and to no one else. Don't worry about speaking to anyone else, because you may have a broad understanding of who your person is, but the more dialed in and targeted you can get with them and who they really are, the better you're going to get at marketing, the better that you're going to get at conversion rate, because it's going to everything across the board, from your paid marketing, from your organic marketing to your social medias, everything is going to speak to a direct pain points, and directly how your product or service affects that. And then what happens is those people are going to convert at a higher rates, because that's also what your website is going to reflect. And they're going to pay you more because they're going to be like, oh yeah, this person really understands me. So there's a few different ways to go about that. One is you can do certain things like I've seen with some of the businesses we worked with, where you can do a buy one, get one 50% off. If you are selling something for 70, you've got 10x profit margins, you take half off, so you're selling it for 35 instead of 70, you're still making money and you're making pretty good profit. So what happens then is now for somebody coming and buying one, now they buy two instead, and now your average order value is $105 instead of $70. Big difference. So now your cost to acquire a customer has just gone way up. And again, there's a lot of different levers you can pull, because once you figure that out and you can just consistently get that, and then you can take them from, let's say normally the average order value is $105, but you know that the lifetime value of that customer is going to be $200, then you can have a pretty good understanding of, okay, this is what it costs for me to acquire them, but they're also going to pay me this much. So I'm going to make this much profit off of every single customer. So that's where having a good customer journey comes into play. And even along that, when it comes to customer journey, don't just make a bunch of products because you want to drive up your average order value. That's not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to actually go back to your past clients, your past customers, ask them what they want to see, what they're in need of, and how you can best support them. Because every single person is buying something. Doesn't matter your socioeconomic level, you are buying something. And if you've already purchased from one brand, they have a certain amount of brand authority in your mind. So if they were to come to you and say, hey, Steven, thank you so much for purchasing this. We want to offer you 10% off your next purchase if you take this survey. And then it's like, maybe you can term it something different. It's like, hey, if you answer these questions, we give you 10% off. If they do that, and then you jump in there and it's like, hey, so why did you decide to buy from us in the first place? What would make you buy again? What is something that you're looking for that we don't sell? And just doing those three questions is going to give you the availability as the brand owner to say, well, this is what really drew these people to me. Maybe it was the price. Maybe it was the testimonials. Maybe it was the reviews. It was the colors, whatever it was that drew them to me. That's what I need to focus on. And then secondly, with that next question of, would you buy from us again? That's a question where it's like, okay, that if it's a pair of shoes, would they buy another pair of shoes? And the answer is yes, or maybe. And again, there's a lot of different questions you can use, but especially that last question when you're just asking, it's like, what are you looking for that we don't sell? Then you just get enough participants in that, and then you're able to look at it as a whole and say, well, these people are doing this. These people are interested in this. And then I would highly recommend after that instead of saying, well, they just want another color of the shoe, or they want a t-shirt to go with it, is instead of doing that is you go and you basically make some mock-ups of those things. You get your email list of people who have opted in. You go find the emails of the people who have the highest lifetime value, whatever it is, and you email them and say, hey, so we heard what you were saying, and we are coming out with this t-shirt that is this, and this, exactly what we interviewed over 100 people, and 97 of them said that they were looking for this exact t-shirt. So here it is. We've come out with this exact t-shirt, but it's not here yet. And if you want to be the first to know when this thing drops, be sure to stay tapped in with this, or click on this, be a part of the wait list. You'll be the first ones updated to know when this goes live. Secondly, if you opt in for the wait list, what happens is that when it does go live, it is only live to the people on the wait list for the first 2 hours. And we will let you know when that's going to happen. What happens then is that if you get 100 people into your wait list you've made, and you just let them know it's limited runs, you say, hey, there's only 50 of this t-shirt. This is our first run of this t-shirt. Then you have 100 people that have opted in. What happens is then they are on the wait list. They get the email, hey, it's coming out in a week. They get the email 2 days before, hey, it's coming out in 2 days. They get the email day of, hey, today in 3 hours, the drop goes live. The t-shirt goes live. Be sure to be ready. Use this code to enter the store to go get your shirt at this time. Or it's like, hey, just be ready next 3 hours. And then then I would just say right at that time, you email them again and they give them a code. They get to go into the store. They get to peruse the store, buy the t-shirt early. So they go in, they're able to buy the t-shirt. Let's say that you have 50 of them made, got 100 people on the wait list. Two things can happen is one, those people go in there and it sells out immediately. So now you've just sold through that entire quantity. Or if for some reason you don't, let's say you made 150 and there's only 100 people on the wait list, they go in there and it sells out 75. Then after that 2 hours, it's just live on your store. And so now to everyone else, they can come and buy it. But doing it that way and doing it consistently that way allows you to understand who your ideal customer is, what they're really looking for, tapping into what they're looking for, what they really like, then coming out with drops or collections, however you want to look at it, doing this wait list method that I've coined this thing called the wait list method, where then you're giving them a picture, you're giving them a creative, you're giving them something to let them know what it is. And then you use this wait list method to then get them to buy ahead of time so they can either pre-order, which I don't really like the pre-order. I like the wait list method where they wait list, you let them know when it's going to happen, because you're getting scarcity and you're building that up. So then when they're ready to buy, what happens is that day of, they'll be ravenous. Like whoever's on that wait list will buy. And then you just have them, and then you make an Instagram story, you make a Facebook story, you go live on YouTube and you just say, hey, we had 150 of these t-shirts and unfortunately they have already sold out. So if you are not on our wait list, you will not be seeing this shirt for another month when we're getting more made, however long, whatever. And because of that, if you want to know when this shirt is coming back, or if you want to be a part of our exclusive wait list, the best way to do that is click the link below, join this wait list, so that way you will not be left out, and you won't be left out. So then when they actually go do that, the next time it comes out, they'll see it, you'll be able to buy it, and then you just are like building, you're snowballing. So then maybe next time on your wait list, because it sold out the first time, you go from 100 to 200 or 300, or if it gets some virality about it, then you just keep growing that wait list. You keep doing these drops. And of course, it's not going to be the same thing. You just can't do the shirt every single time. You're going to have to come out with different items. So you're just going to keep using that kind of method. But that's a way those are some different strategies, ways to get up your average order value, ways to understand who your ideal customer is, and ways to create the product that they're looking for without creating it first, and ways to know how many people are actually interested in buying this. So that way you're not spending any extra time, energy, money to accomplish that. And what happens is, honestly, if you're getting this stuff made overseas and this is your own proprietary product, it's saving you time, money, energy, effort, production, everything. So that's my recommendations. That's going to be it for today. Just wanted to come in here, shoot this quick video. Thank you guys. I look forward to talking to you again. I will most likely be doing something similar to this every single Monday. So just be sure to tap in with YouTube. If you're seeing this, whether you saw my post on LinkedIn, whether you found me on YouTube itself, be sure to lock in, subscribe. You can ring the notification bell if you want to. We post content every now and then, but I make content like this all the time, talking about businesses, talking about e-commerce, especially because that's where my heart is. I love e-com. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.